Okay, so in the last video we were discussing about startup and shutdown. Like I told, I'll be telling about them. So in the video 007 I have talked about auto archive. Now when we did auto archive, we needed a way to keep the auto archive mode on, like no archive mode and archive mode. Two modes were there, so we went for archive mode that we saw in our video, that was 007b, exchanging archive log in Oracle by using command prompt. Okay, now what we do is, we in there we had written this command: shut down immediate and startup mount. Now what are these mount and immediate? Like there should be some meaning to them, right? So there are a few parameters that you can pass with shutdown and startup. I'll be listing each one of them and explaining what they do. So coming to shutdown, there are different options that we have, like shutdown immediate, also have abort, then again you have shutdown with this normal and transitional. Normal, transition. Okay, so what are these for? Well, while I explain, I'll also be taking you to the shutdown page of Oracle. I'll be pasting this link. These are the four options and each of them are written over here. Like when you write abort, it's like immediately want to abort, like nothing should be taken into consideration. So what, all current statements are stopped immediately. Any transition which is uncommitted, it will not be rolled back until startup. All connected users are disconnected, and the instance recovery, that will also not be performed immediately but on the next startup. On the other hand, immediate is more allowing to the user to save the work they have done. So current SQL statement are being processed is allowed to complete it. Uncommitted is rolled back and the users are disconnected. Normal is like completely with the user's permission you are trying to log off, like it will not allow any more connection. Before shutting down, every user which is connected has to disconnect, and on the next startup there will be no need of any recovery because everyone had disconnected, so they have either saved all the transaction that they need to save, so you won't have to commit any this instance recovery. Transactional is not so. What transactional does is it logs each the transaction that is going on, lets them complete. Okay, but how, either you commit them or you terminate before the shutdown. No new client can start a new transaction. If someone tries, it will be automatically disconnected. And the last option is that after all the transactions have either committed or terminated, any client who does not disconnect automatically will be disconnected by the system. Well, these are the four options that you can use with shutdown. On the other hand, we also have startup. So let's see the options that we use with startup. Now startup on itself can be used without the need of any parenthesis or parameter, but it also has the option of having a few parameters which are as follows. The first parameter that we'll say is DBA, okay, followed by force, okay, mount the P file, and sometimes along with P file you also give a file name. Okay, this option on the other hand is kinda optional, but we'll discuss about them all. So again I'll be taking you to the Oracle homepage for this purpose. Now these are the different options, with file name being optional. And if you write a normal startup, all it does is default options it will use, like default server parameters, control file which is previously set, and whichever is the DB it will open it. But when you specify DBA, what it does is restricts this privilege, restricted privilege, session privilege. This has to be active. In case of force, it checks whether the current DB status. If the current DB status is like okay, current DB status is open, so what happens is it will close it. That too how shutdown abort. Okay, it'll use this command, it'll abort all the functions, it'll shut it down and then restart it. If it is already closed, it will forcefully open it. Mount, what it does is it starts the instance, then mounts the database. It does not open it. That's why we are able to take the backups and we are not able to perform transactions on it. On case of no mount, what it does is it starts the instance but it does not mount the database. Okay, so if no parameter file exists, then what it does is temporary parameter file is used, and then restore sp file. By using this command you can take the backup server. And last, it is p file name. Now p file is parameter file. Okay, text based initialization parameter file or the database. So if the p file is not specified, then default initialization parameters are used. Okay, that's it for shutdown and startup, which are linked to the use of them in the file 7th video that we created. Thank you.